Hello everybody, this is the fourth lecture of the IELTS. Do we have a question here about the true false not given? Do the following statements agree with the information in the passage? Write the true if the statement agrees with the information, false if the statement contradicts the information, and not given if there is no information on this. The true false not given questions are: number one, digital libraries could have a more professional image than the internet. Two, only experts are permitted to view the scanned version of Beowulf. Three, the woodblock prints in Tokyo have been damaged by researchers. Four, fewer staff will be required in digital libraries. Five, people may be able to borrow digital materials from the library. Six, digital libraries will occupy more space than ordinary libraries. And the last one, number seven, is the cost of newly published books will fall. Now let's come to going digital. Number one says digital libraries could have a more professional image than the internet. The passage says electronic libraries will make today's internet pale by comparison, but building them will not be easy all over the world. Libraries have begun the Herculean task of making faithful digital copies of the books, images, and recordings that preserve the intellectual effort of humankind. For armchair scholars, the work promises to bring such a wealth of information to the desktop that the present internet may seem amateurish in retrospect. Okay, it says digital libraries could have a more professional image than the internet, and we have in the last two lines we have the work promises to bring such a wealth of information to the desktop that the present internet may seem amateurish in retrospect. Amateurish means primitive, so it will be more professional. So the answer is true. Number two, only experts are permitted to view the scanned version of Beowulf. Let's read the paragraph. Librarians see three clear benefits to going digital. First, it helps them preserve rare and fragile objects without denying access to those who wish to study them. The British Library, for example, holds the only medieval manuscript of Beowulf in London. Only qualified scholars were allowed to see it until Kevin S. Kiernan of the University of Kentucky scanned the ancient manuscript with three different light sources, revealing details not normally apparent to the naked eye, and put the images up on the internet for anyone to peruse. Okay, we have here in 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth line, the last word, only qualified scholars were allowed. The statement says, only experts are permitted. We have past were and are limited here in the statement. So, when we have differences in the grammar, in the grammar tenses precisely. For example, this is simple past and this is simple present. 90%, the answer is false. Here, let us go on with the reading to make sure that the answer is false. We said we're allowed to see it until Kevin S. Kiernan of the University of Kentucky scanned the ancient manuscript with the three different light sources, revealing details not normally apparent to the naked eye, and put the images up on the internet for anyone to peruse. That means not only experts are permitted, everyone can see it. Okay, so number 2 will be false. Number 3. The statement says the woodblock prints in Tokyo have been damaged by researchers, while the passage says Tokyo's National Document Library is similarly creating detailed digital photographs of 1,236 woodblock prints, scrolls, and other materials it considers national treasures so that researchers can scrutinize them without handling the originals. So, it says the woodblock prints in Tokyo have been damaged by researchers. The question here, do we have any information about it? Have they been damaged or not? Can you find the information here? Let us read it. Tokyo's National Document Library is similarly creating detailed digital photographs of 1,236 woodblock prints, scrolls, and other materials it considers national treasures so that researchers can scrutinize them without handling the originals. I can't see any single information about it here. So the statement we cannot decide here whether it's true or false. In this case, it will be not given. 4 and 5. Statement number 4 says fewer staff will be required in digital libraries. 5 people may be able to borrow digital materials from the library. Let us read this paragraph about them. A second benefit is convenience. Once books are converted to digital form, patrons can retrieve them in seconds rather than minutes. Several people can simultaneously read the same book or view the same picture. Clerks are spared the chore of reshelving, and libraries could conceivably use the internet to lend their virtual collections to those who are unable to visit in person. So, number 4, which says fewer staff will be required in digital libraries. Do we have anything here about the staff? It says here clerks are spared the chore of reshelving. Does it talk about the number of the staff? Whether they are going to be more or less? I can't see any information about this. So number 4 will be not given. Number 5 says people may be able to borrow digital materials from the library. Let's reread the last 3 sentences. Clerks are spared the chore of reshelving, and libraries could conceivably use the internet to lend their virtual collections. We have to lend, libraries will lend. That means people can borrow. So, in this case, the answer of number 5 will be true. 6 and 7. 6 says digital libraries will occupy more space than ordinary libraries. Number 7 says the cost of newly published books will fall. Let's read. The third advantage of electronic copies is that they occupy millimeters of space on a magnetic disk rather than meters on a shelf. Expanding library buildings is increasingly costly. The University of California at Berkeley recently spent $46 million on an underground addition to house 1.5 million books, an average cost of $30 per volume. The price of disk storage, in contrast, has fallen to about $2 per 300-page publication and continues to drop. Okay, number 6. It says digital libraries will occupy more space than ordinary libraries. In the passage we have the third advantage of electronic copies is that they occupy millimeters. That means less space, not more space. So the information of number 6 is wrong. So in this case, number 6 will be false. Number 7 says the cost of a newly published books will fall. Let's reread the last the last two lines from the price of disk storage. It talks here about the price of disk storage, not about the price of books. Newly published, all published, whatever. Books in general, we don't have anything about books. Please focus. The statement or the question talks about the cost of a newly published books. And in the passage, we have the price of disk storage. So in this case, the answer will be not given. Thank you very much for watching this episode, or let's say this one, on my channel. Please, if you have any questions, write in the comments about whatever you would like to ask about. If you have any criticism you would like to write it, please write it. Thank you. If you like this episode or what I'm doing here, please just press subscribe. Thank you very much.